Hello everybody, welcome to some Dark Souls 3 PvP. I am just doing some miscellaneous things and stuff, trying out some random weapons. Nothing really too terribly special going on right now with it. Just testing out things, seeing what I like, seeing what I don't. Just general, just general PvP. Get that Leo ring counter. Leo ring is back to Dark Souls 1 standard. For the record, it's pretty nice. Yeah. Also, for this kind of video, I'm thinking since there are so many signs up here, I'm just gonna talk all the way through, keep summoning, switching weapons, and doing all that fun stuff, instead of cutting into breaks. Just cause, why not? Do it as a one continuous loop sort of thing, because I've got a lot to say. And I don't really feel like interrupting my thoughts. So, first things first, there's another patch coming out very, very soon. I believe on the 18th. So that's going to be in just a couple of days. That said, it mentioned something about improving performance for the Greatsword. Don't know if that's talking about the class or the weapon, the Greatsword itself. That said, I would assume it's talking about the standard Greatsword class. Although it's hard to say, really. And that said, this guy right here, using that Ultra Greatsword, it's a really common one. That said, this is something that you should expect to be relatively common. Oh, hello, backstab. And a hornet ring. Yep. S-Stock is top tier for the record. That's just something that's worth pointing out. S-Stock is very, very top tier. It's a real pain in the ass, as a matter of fact, because really they can just R1 spam and there's not terribly much you can do. I mean, yes, you can set up parry it, but even still, people generally don't keep spamming R1s with the S-Stock if they hit your shield once. Just something in general that I've noticed, and typically, if you're two-handing your weapon and you try and get that shield out, you're going to get hit at least twice, possibly even 3 times before your shield gets out and you're able to block. So there are some balance issues at the moment. S-Stock is one complaint. If someone runs to a fog gate and they go through it, you actually can't damage them once their hand makes contact with that gate. Dark Souls 1 style, not necessarily a bad thing, but that said, it can be a slight pain if you chase someone all the way and they barely get there, and then nothing comes of it because they touch the fog. It just is what it is. Also, for the record, my thumb is still in a bit of rough shape, so I'm actually able to play by, instead of using my, thumb where the fingerprint is, I'm using the knuckle, like, in the joint, like, under my knuckle. It's really awkward, but it gets the job done. I'm getting used to it still, so, expect a fair few losses. Ouch. Goddard's Sards, yes, swords. With Leo ring to get that damage on there, without a doubt. Someone likes his pokiness. Yep. Dodge and L2, dodge and L2. Does a lot of damage, especially if it's on a counter, and it's really easy to get counters with that because of the fact that it's a fast roll and the attack comes out very quickly. So if you dodge someone's attack and then go for it, chances are it will land as a counter hit. So that said, that with a Leo ring is extremely dangerous. Easy damage to get. So again, something that I'm not overly fond of, how easy it is to build up damage so quickly, but it is what it is. Just something to get used to. And that said, I am not fighting in Lord of Cinder mode. I don't have my full health at the moment. Oh well. Really, it won't make all that much of a difference. I mean, yes, at the end of the day, I might get one more fight, or one more hit out of a fight, but even still. will not it just will not make that much of a difference. I have them upgraded too, by the way. You know, I've got a bunch of stuff upgraded. I've been working on doing it. My stock for my playthrough that I'm not using in PvP because it's just too stupid easy. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. War Pick is good again, by the way. I do like it very, very much. Perseverance is actually pretty good. I've poised through some things here and there. Does a really good job. Nice. Ooh. That lunge forward, that was farther than I expected. That's Ricard's, for the record. Despite the fact that other rapiers do have similar attacks, Ricard's is going to be the best. And the fact that he's actually using a shield that allows for the skill to go through instead of it being a parry, that's actually pretty cool. You don't see that very often yet. Still, that damage though. Ricard's is quite dangerous. And the amount of distance it covered, that's impressive. It's good to know. We have the Dark Spirit A. So yeah, other miscellaneous odds and ends to cover. Summoning people will not net you any pale tongues or anything fun like that. That's only if you're summoned. If you are summoned, you will get pale tongues. Same for if invading. That said, that's only if you're invading as a finger. If you invade as a sunbro, you get sunlight medals. You get to be slightly gloriously incandescent like this guy right here is. Murakumo. I actually don't have a hang of what can be parried when two-handed or not yet. I'm assuming it's Dark Souls 2 style. But... ooh, range. Hyper armor. I'm surprised he lived through that and didn't get stunned on that second hit. Bit of a losing streak, but that's okay. Just that slight bit of damage that I didn't have. If I actually was fully leveled and such, you know, maybe that would make a difference. I am only level 92. There are a few different PvP metas at the moment. There's 100, there is 115, and 125, I think, if I'm recalling correctly. So yeah, I'm under leveled a tad. Oh well. It's not a huge deal. That said, here are my stats: 32 vigor, 25 endurance. Vitality is only 12, but I don't really need that much more than that at the moment. I probably will end up upgrading that. I technically only have 40 strength and 35 dex. I am using the Night Ring to give myself an extra 5 levels. I'll probably go to 45 and 40. That's most likely what I'll end up doing, because if I want to use any weapon that requires 50 strength, Fume Ultra Greatsword, for example, then, well, failed summon. That's always unfortunate. Fume Ultra Greatsword, for example, I can throw on the Night Ring and go that way. Fluffy Demons. Nice name. This is PC, by the way. Feel like that's worth mentioning, although you guys probably would have guessed that by the fact that this is in 60 frames per second. I am recording in 60 frames per second right now, aren't I? Okay, good. Had to go into my software and check it. Had to go into the thingamajig and do the thing and stuff to go into my settings. What's this guy got? A Black Knight Great Axe. Very, very high hyper armor on that weapon. Okay. Rip that range. I hope I hope that he would have rolled backwards instead of forwards, and I would have got him with my jump. R1 jump attack is not as viable as a strategy as it was in Dark Souls 2 because of the faster pace of the game. So the more you know is what it is. In a way, it's actually a good thing that you can't get those hits so easily, and it actually depends on what your opponent is doing. I'm not complaining about that in any way. I actually do think it's a very good thing because it makes doing combos a little bit more difficult. That said, the guaranteed 2-hit system is back again, so if you get hit once, you're going to get hit twice at the very least. And some weapons, it is extremely easy to get that third hit in there. Longswords being one of them. Straight swords being one class, longsword being one specific example. R1, R2 gets it very frequently if they dodge sideways in either direction. Or forwards, of course. Really the only safe bet is backwards, and if it's the R2, then, you've got a thrusting attack. So really, it depends on timing at that point, because it still can catch them. Seems as though we have Artorias, though, or at least a wannabe, because he doesn't have the shield yet. That's the most popular gesture I've seen. Get parried. And that's going to do a fair bit of damage. If he didn't double roll, that would have had him. Nice. So the Warpick does not have the whiff animation that it has had in the past. Makes it a lot more user-friendly. That said, it's harder to bait people into it because it doesn't have the whiff anymore. Not quite sure how I preferred it, in all honesty. Although, it's not bad this way. Let's go with the gargoyle spiffy jump spear thing. You'll see what I mean about that in a minute once I actually go for the attack. It's a really good looking attack. It looks a bit silly, I'll admit, but the animation for it is nice and smooth, so it's okay. Deals some solid damage, really high attack rating, it's got a good amount of fire damage in there, cannot be infused. Oh boy, Fume Ultra Greatsword. Good thing I picked a long, quick weapon. Hi, friend. A buffed Fume Ultra Greatsword. Very good thing I picked a good, quick weapon. Got a little poke on that. Aww. Really messed up on the timing for that. Oh! Midway through that special attack, and I got dead. Shouldn't have gone for it, in all honesty. I probably would have had the fight if I had done pretty much... Ow. That hurt. Pretty much anything else. Set my hand down on my leg, and... well, my thumb brushed against my pant leg, and it hurt my stitches. Unpleasant times, to be perfectly honest. Having stitches across your thumbprint is just... ugh. And really the worst part about it wasn't even getting the stitches, although I'm sure it would have been worse had they not actually, dulled the pain with the... whatever it was they shot my thumb with. Needles. Needles, needles, needles. Not pleasant. 2 needles, or 2 shots on each side of the cut. Going through the thumb a very far distance. Ouch. And all to just dull it so it wouldn't hurt as much when they were stitching me up. Honestly, I've had stitches without having it dulled before. I've had more stitches without having it dulled in any way before. I would have preferred that, I think, than having that giant needle go through my thumb. But that's my problem. Needless to say, mandolins are mean. They can be quite aggressive. Avoid them. Ooh, good little parry. Hey, Falcon Shield. I didn't know that was back. Ow. Hello, Hornet Ring. From a katana. Oh, and I got the parry on him. Yeah, from a katana. That's a little bit sad that it does so much damage, but then again, I don't have the health that I would like to have. I am going to go for the 125 meta for the record. It makes more sense to me, considering the stats in this game are more similar to what's in Dark Souls 2, having vitality back again. That's a relatively important thing to have. In addition to that, having decent vigor and endurance as well. It makes more sense to go to a higher level rather than a lower level. That said, a lot of people will be buffing and using magic at that point, but magic is extremely slow to cast in this game, so it's not 100% viable, to be perfectly honest. Let's do something stupid now. Yeah, I'm okay fat rolling. I'll deal with it. We'll just see how it goes against the vicious Steve. What's my thing with this? Perseverance again. And damage is reduced while it's active. That's cool. Come on, Steve, hurry up. Get on down. In the meantime, though, I'll just go through my plans with weapons. I want to upgrade the Thrall Axe because it has Quick Step. Message ratings all day long. Seriously. Hey, I broke 100. Ooh, it's got a new thingy. Well, isn't that fancy? I don't remember what that message, or where that message was located, to be perfectly honest. I will say that dragon transformation did look kind of cool. Yeah. He did lots of damage, don't get me wrong, but hyper armor though. Hyper armor and the fact that he has no armor technically. Bit of a shame that the dragon transformation doesn't give you anything in the way of defense. Like, it should at least help with the percentage that you don't take. Like, that would be a nice thing with it, but it doesn't, so it's kind of useless. Also, one thing I was informed of that I actually haven't tested, and I'll test shortly, in the video actually, I'll test it for one of the next following fights. After we die using Smo's hammer, I'll give it a shot. Havel's Great Shield apparently causes you to fat roll no matter what. So that said, I had plans to remake my dragon build from Dark Souls 1. But if that's the case, it just won't be terribly successful. So, it is what it is, but... Ooh, you didn't get hit right there. I would have sworn that would have been it. Aww. Hoo-hoo. Didn't have the stamina to roll. Shame on me. That's okay. I want to test that Havel Shield anyway. See what it's got in store for us. So, yeah. Dark Souls 3. I'm enjoying it so far. PvP does have some issues. Great Shields are too powerful. Like, there's no doubt in my mind about that. Yep, a fat roll no matter what. And that is kind of sad. Really, it makes the dragon transformation idea a lot less valuable. It's nice because enemy weapons still will bounce off just like Iron Flesh, but on the other hand, I wonder if the Dragon Torso Stone Roar makes the rocks fall off. We'll try both Dragon Torso Stones. So let's get naked. Nope, no luck. I am quite lumpy though. So I'll try it out, see how well it works. I guess I'll use the war pick for it. And since weight really won't terribly matter since I'll be over encumbered, I'll switch to the red tear stone. Yeah. We'll see how this goes. I have the feeling it will not go overly well, but hey, it's a learning experience. We are here to test things and do stuff. And we're going to be testing things and doing stuff against probably the worst weapon in this situation. Yeah. That's the thing about it. If they two-hand it, then it does not bounce, and he was two-handing. That said, I lasted longer than I expected that I would, so I've got that going for me. Maybe it's not entirely unreasonable. If I fight more katana guys, that would probably be a good thing to do, actually. So let's see if I can find a katana guy. Are you a katana guy? Butcher's knife. Another butcher's knife. Dark sword. Of course not. I'm just gonna summon someone random, I don't care. At the end of the day, so long as we get to test it and play around with it a little more, that's what really matters. So, that's what I'm going for. And yes, it increases your resistance, but defense-wise, no poise. Defense kinda sucks. Negative lightning defense. I mean, magic defense and whatnot, fire defense is really good. Like, fire defense is really good. But everything else is lacking, to say the least. And he's using a bow. So guess what's not going to work well? While I appreciate the attempt at a bow build, and you should be using poison arrows, dude. Like, I'm a dragon. I would be poisoned so... Why did I go for a backstab right then? That makes no sense. And how did that not get the backstab? If I had any sort of decent weapon for chasing him down... Yeah. Go figure, I actually give the option to chase him down, and he goes and pulls out a katana. Oh well, it is what it is. Mildly annoying to fight against, but it really does go to show, despite what I was hoping for with bows this time around, a bow build will not be overly viable, and it makes me very sad to say that. There's a few reasons for it. The main reason is that you can't actually infuse bows this time. And if you can't infuse them, then you can't make them magic focused or anything. And if you can't make them magic or lightning focused, then you can't put on that type of arrow and get more damage. And overall, it's just not good. It is not conducive to a successful bow build, unless you go pure dex and go with a bow like that. But even still, like on my quality build, for the sake of example, composite bow, it's always been a good option. 326, that's not bad. But hitting someone with it is extremely difficult. It just doesn't work out well. Well, isn't that a shiny little buff you have right there? Ooh, good one. Yeah, the tracking on its L2s are, well, is really good. Its L2s are really good. You mean what I know. Aww. I hate when I miss that jump. There we are. Alright, let's get one more fight in this, and... Really? That name isn't censored in any way? I was fighting against one of my friends the other day, and his name was partially censored. It was just a word, a regular plain old word, nothing special, nothing, negative or derogatory or inappropriate in any way. And yet, ass to mouth is censored when his name was not. That's a 10 out of 10 job right there. Alright, for this guy, I'm going to use a Black Knight halberd, if I'm not mistaken. Black Knight glaive. I'll lay down. That's cool. It is 2 in the morning. I guess we'll end things here. Or not. Alright, buddy. Yeah, that hyper armor. I'm not used to the hyper armor being so incredibly good with these weapons. I'm really just not used to it. Like, I get it, it's something we have to get used to, but man, that's just crazy. Taking a hit from a running halberd R1 and not being staggered at all. Something to get used to. It's a learning curve. Can't be great at the game starting off. No one is, no one's going to be. Unless, of course, you use an S-Stock, but that's a different story. S-Stock and Great Shield. Great Shields are another thing I actually do have an issue with. Because you can literally kick those things like 4 times and they won't guard break. Meanwhile, with a medium or a small shield, you guard break it by kicking it once. It's a little bit silly that it takes so much for a Great Shield. I understand why, because I had to give him a purpose, but when there's literally nothing you can do about it, that's where we run into some problems. Did I just fight this guy, or was this a different guy with the Fume Ultra Greatsword? I think it's a different guy. Okay. And the recovery afterwards is so quick. Like, that's another thing with it. Do I have my bow on? I don't. Do I have another weapon on? I don't. Yeah. I feel like that's something that does, in a way, need to be nerfed a little bit, just because its recoveries are just as quick as any other weapon. I mean, I get it, heavy weapons have to be useful, and that's where their damage comes in, and the fact they've got a guaranteed 2-hit stun that deals stupid amounts of damage. But, on the other side, they shouldn't have the same recovery as, say, a mace, or a halberd, or something like that. Just my personal opinion on the matter, but I feel like they recover way too quickly. Dark Sword I do like. I like its skill being Stomp. It's pretty cool. Okay, Captain, what do you have for me? Are you playing left-handed? Ooh, that range. Okay. I'll take that double kill. And I think we're going to end things there, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you all next time.